If you are looking into buying cheap and safe FIFA coins, look no further than footcoinshop.net. They have the fastest service, an incredible loyalty reward system, and the best prices around. Use my creator code Inception when you sign up for your account and get a 5% discount with your order. Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Guys, listen, I haven't done a football discussion video in a minute. It's actually been quite some time. I haven't watched football too much this year because obviously I've been very busy with the EAFC content. Today was one of those days where I kind of figured, like, you know what, even though I have to do a lot of work because of Trailblazers team 2, I kind of just wanted to watch a football game today and just enjoy it for what it is, because it's the whole reason I even got into content creation with the EAFC thing. So it was my way to kind of get into football in general, right? So obviously we have done discussion videos in the past and people have enjoyed them, so we're going to do that again today, right? So a lot of this season, again, as I've said, I haven't watched too much of, but I'm going to give you my opinions on just stuff that I've noticed so far, right? So a lot of the times when I did watch Liverpool play a lot, I always felt like there were certain players that were needed in the team, right? Palhinha was one of the purest examples of someone that I mentioned on Twitter. You guys can watch the old discussion video of me talking about Liverpool. It might have been like the Darwin Nunez video where he got a red card, I think, in his first game, where I mentioned how it's insane that Liverpool are not looking at players like Palhinha, Matheus Nunes during that time period. Matheus Nunes during that time period specifically, because I think we're okay in the center mid position nowadays, right? But in that main pivotal role down the middle, that is the one position that teams do not look into the most. Now, I know that Liverpool beforehand were looking into buying Moises Caicedo, right, for a very, very large fee. And to be honest with you guys, it would have been worth the fee just because of how vital it is to have a player playing in that position. I think in the center mid area, Liverpool are solid, right? I think Szoboszlai is an absolutely fantastic player. From what I've seen so far from Gravenberch, it looks like he's actually kind of settled in very nicely. Like, he looks like he's been playing really well. So very happy about that. The back four, the goalkeeper, I will say, I did watch the game before this one. I forget which team it was that Liverpool played against, where we literally conceded two terrible goals, honestly, like defensive mistakes, right? And you sometimes see that shakiness with the team itself just in general, right? And it's been really weird to see. So again, I haven't watched the whole season, but I'm going to give you my opinion so far. So halftime, you know, we have the front three lined up the way that it is. We have the midfield, we have the defense. In my opinion, a change needs to be made up top as of right now. We don't have that balance in the midfield, in my opinion, to have someone playing in that main midfield role. McAllister is a fantastic player, but McAllister for me is more of a player to be used in a center mid area to the sides, right? Like Szoboszlai, like Gravenberch. But regardless, this is the situation that we're dealing with right now, because the thing about Liverpool's play style is that they've always been the type of team to utilize the side positions. Always. It's always been like this since the end of time. And from what I'm seeing, it feels like we need more of a physical presence up top, especially in this game against Tarkowski and Branthwaite, right? So with the way the team is currently formatted, I think a substitution needs to be made with Darwin Nunez going on the pitch. 100%. I think a physical presence is needed up top. I would either replace Diaz or Jota 100%, because with Nunez, you can play him honestly in the wing position on the left hand side or the striker area, and you'll still offer that physical presence. Now, in my opinion, I would actually take off Diaz, because Jota essentially acts like a false nine playing like a winger, right? And I feel like that would be way more helpful to work with against Everton's team than to have Diaz being a little bit more, Diaz being a little bit more direct, right? So I think having that false nine would make a little bit more sense from the way that everything is kind of happening so far. However, there are moments where I'm also thinking that keeping Diaz on the pitch is actually very ideal, because Ashley Young just got his red card, right? So having that direct play in the side position would also be key. So what I'm thinking right now is that we wait until the 60th minute, no changes, right? Especially since Ashley Young's off the pitch. If you notice that Jota or Diaz are not really utilizing that side position the best they possibly can, because as of right now, we already know that Everton's probably going to line up either in a 5-back or stick with the 4-back formation and just stick another midfielder into the middle area, right? So it's going to be very important to obviously take a look and see hey, this is the type of substitution that we need to make, right? A substitution will be needed, not right away, because we need to see how they're going to play against a man down Everton. But yeah, we'll see how that kind of comes to play, right? I mean, so far in the first half, guys, I mean, I don't think we've been playing horribly. It's not like completely convincing, right? I would say it's like 50-50. You know, football kind of goes this way sometimes, especially in the first half. You have to feel out the game quite a bit, especially if the game is still a 0-0 game. So we'll see what happens up until the 60th minute, but I think a sub definitely needs to be made up top in the striker area. I think Darwin Nunez needs to come on the pitch because a physical presence is definitely needed up top. Okay, guys, so Liverpool ended up winning the game 2-0. To be honest with you guys, Liverpool ended up winning 2-0 because of Jurgen Klopp's absolutely brilliant substitution decisions, 100%. Okay, guys, in the future, whenever I do these discussion videos, if you know of a website I can use that's a little bit better than this, that I can like rotate the players accordingly, be sure to let me know, because this one I'm gonna have to like change a couple things here and there, right? So it'd be nice to have like the numbers and the names and all that. But why was Jurgen Klopp's substitutions so good? Okay, they were so good because he felt the game, the way that it played out up until the 60th minute, and then he made his substitutions like a class manager would do, okay? And then he made two fantastic substitution decisions, okay? He ended up replacing Simicast for Harvey Elliott, and then he took out Gravenberch for Darwin Nunez, or whatever, vice versa, right? The reason why this was such an important decision is because of the types of players that he's putting on. So right off the bat, as we mentioned at halftime, Darwin Nunez needed to be on the pitch. A physical presence was needed up top. That's a fast player, right? That's what Darwin Nunez is going to offer your team. Harvey Elliott is going to be rotated off to that right-hand side, and he's going to play off of Salah. And it was really good that they ended up doing this, because this is exactly what ended up happening, right? So if I go over here and we change this, and we change this to Nunez, and we change this name over here to Elliott, right? This is exactly what happened in the team, and this is really, really important to mention, because this is what ended up allowing us to get a result in this game, okay? So what happens with the team is that you have players like Konate and Van Dijk that is going to play in a two-back system, okay? Harvey Elliott is going to be rotated off to this right-hand side. Szoboszlai is going to be roaming the midfield, deciding whether or not he goes left or right. But you'll notice during the game that he's actually always favoring the left-hand side, cutting inside sometimes, attacking the left-hand side. Honestly, if Szoboszlai wanted to play in the left wing position, he could if he really wanted to. But you'll notice that a lot of the times we actually had Mac over here playing down the middle, right? So it was basically Mac over here. And then you have Trent that was playing in that inverted role. This two-back system with Van Dijk, Konate, Mac, and Trent was a fantastic decision against a man-down Everton, okay? Because what you have happening in this situation is you're going to have a player like Diaz, right? Who, even if he's been a little bit rough, right? He's still going to be a fantastic direct player to work with. You're going to have Jota on this side, right? Who is essentially going to be acting like a false nine in this area, right? He's going to be the type of guy that's going to sometimes go into striker, and then Nunez is also going to be rotating with him. So they're going to be interchangeable between each other, right? And Szoboszlai is going to be the guy that's going to be roaming the midfield area, right? Maybe popping in a long shot, maybe passing off to the side position. So this made complete sense, right? Because you have Harvey Elliott playing off of Salah, right? In this situation here, and this is how the team was lined up. This is a brilliant substitution, or substitutions in general, in the 62nd minute to open up space in the game. Because what you're going to have in this situation is someone like Luis Diaz, who's going to go into this area against the defender and either approach it from a direct angle, or he's going to be the guy that will cut inside and make the space here to the other side of the pitch. Maybe Salah goes for a long shot with his left foot, which he didn't go for too often. He was really approaching it direct head on, right? But this was vital to have in the team, right? And Diaz, no matter how rough he's playing, he's always going to be able to offer you this sort of play style, right? So these substitutions made complete sense up until this point, because with that direct play, you have a situation here where Keane ends up making a mistake. His hand is out like this, hits his arm very clear as day, and it's a stonewall penalty. I completely agreed with the referee's decision beforehand to not reward the penalty kick. I watched Portuguese commentators and are like, oh, that's definitely a penalty. No, it isn't. In my opinion, it's still completely soft to be able to be given a penalty. But with Keane, his arm is out. There's no intention of playing it close to his body or pulling it back, at least like this, right? So there's always going to be a situation there where that's going to be a stonewall penalty. So this decision here to have this constant interchangeability between Jota and Nunez while keeping Diaz over on that left-hand side, while having Szoboszlai being able to rotate here, but favoring the left-hand side more than anything, it didn't make sense to have Tsimikas on the pitch because Tsimikas, to be fair, wasn't playing that well. Then he got to a certain point where he realized that Konate was also not having a fantastic game, right? So with Konate, he ends up switching on Joel Matip, which again, fantastic decision here, because here's the thing about Konate. He had a very rough game. He was very sloppy this game. He could have definitely gotten a red card, honestly. Like, it definitely could have happened. So this substitution was absolutely needed. Jurgen Klopp notices this, or his managing team notices this, and this is how the team was lined up, and this is what secured the first opportunity for a penalty kick. Now, to be honest, guys, in this situation here, you're going to have an Everton team with a man down. This is how they're going to be lined up now, right? They're going to be lined up in a 5-back formation, because when you're a man down, all you can really do at this point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All you can really do in this situation is to create an area where you play a 5-4-1, right? And you're going to try to guarantee a point, or you get lucky, you get the ball back here because everyone's attacking the way that it is, because the side is completely open, essentially. You're going to have attack here, and your striker basically has to get lucky on a counterattack. That's usually what happens in professional football, right? Especially once you have that red card in your squad, right? So they're going to play that 5-back. And this is what I was mentioning earlier. The thing about Diaz is that he's going to offer you that direct attacking play to basically open up the space, even if he's having a rough game, right? So that direct attacking play is basically what allowed the space to open up, with Jota and Nunez committing into the middle of the pitch, with Jota being essentially that false 9 type of player, rotating between Nunez. And this is how they ended up scoring their first opportunity. And then obviously near the end of the game, Klopp makes a good decision yet again, where he switches on Gomez for Diaz, because they're winning 1-0. It's better to secure the result more than anything. And then at that point, when you have Diaz off of the pitch, right, you still have interchangeability up top in this general area. You still have that balance between Harvey Elliott on the right-hand side with Salah, but now you have another defender with Gomez to basically allow you to secure the result. Jota is a hard worker. Szoboszlai is a hard worker. You still have Trent and Mac in your team. So Trent is always going to be constantly doing this all the time, right? He's always going to be rotating into this right back position, because having a player like Trent in your team that has that ability to be able to play that full back position, be able to rotate into the midfield, was very important, because now you have the defensive player in Gomez up top. You have Van Dijk, Matip. You should be defensively sound while still having players that can go on the attack and score another opportunity. What ended up happening, you have a strong, fast player like Nunez getting the ball on the counterattack, pushing forward against a defense that was obviously non-existent from the counterattack, because Everton needs to commit to get their goal back. Salah goes for the opportunity with Nunez pushing up top, and then all he has to do is basically slot the ball into the back of the net. This game was won because of brilliant substitution decisions by Jurgen Klopp. I absolutely loved. I just feel a certain way when I see a team being formatted with balance, man. It's just so nice. I absolutely love it. Every single decision that he ended up making today was what guaranteed the result. So it was a fantastic game from a sporting analytical point of view, right? It wasn't like a fantastic game, like, oh, super exciting and stuff, but analytically it was very, very nice to watch. I mean, that's the good thing about McAllister, I guess, right? Is being able to rotate into a role where you're playing as a midfield setup with Trent, right? Like, that's the great part about it. But that's what I'm saying earlier, that I keep saying car because I'm a FIFA content creator, right? But a player like Moises Caicedo would have been very, very helpful to be able to do this kind of same role as well. But even so, regardless, a great result for Liverpool, 3 points secured. It was a great game to watch. So guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoy these types of videos and you want to see more of it in the future, be sure to let me know and we can definitely incorporate it into the channel. Guys, this channel is a post whatever I want channel. This is how I live my life, you know? So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.